This is breakout and continuation of Bitcoin in 2020. This is breakout of Ethereum in 2025. Can we have the similar continuation as Bitcoin experienced 5 years ago? A random whale just 5 minutes ago accumulated over $86 million worth of Ether. What's gonna happen next and how will Bitcoin react to it? Let's analyze. Hello ladies and gentlemen of Paradise Club, this is Simon from Crypto Paradise. Welcome back, it's great to have you here. A new trading week ahead of us. In this video we will go not only through Bitcoin but also we will take a look on Ethereum. How does Ethereum look? We'll take a look at Bitcoin versus Euro pair, dollar index, some CME futures gap, etc. Bitcoin on multiple time frames as always. So let's start with Ethereum right now. As you can see on the price action to the upside, we are having a little bit of distribution going on the order book suit. The CVD is negative, which is basically suggesting that people are selling into the price action to the upside. We are on spot market. On futures is the opposite. We are having a huge sell wall cluster above us. The major one is at around 5,000. There is a sell wall of around 8.3 thousand Ethereums. All right, so this is heavy. So for the price action to go actually to our expected level from the macro perspective, which is $9,000, we need to reclaim that $5,000 easily, which is above us. All right, so we need to have a beautiful reclaim above the previous high. This will be a beautiful opportunity for a swing trade. All right, so either we can reclaim the resistance at around $5,000, all right, which is at around right here. We can get rid of the cluster that is in this zone, or I will be looking for some nice swing position on a retest again of this moving average trend line and the descending trend line that we are basically making since 2021. Until then, it's not really for swing trading position. In my perspective, with ParadiseFamilyVIPs, we have been doing some short-term trading on Ethereum. We have just taken target one before the crash for around save 40%. But for a swing position, I really need to see either a strength, reclaim the cluster and the sell wall, or I want to see a nice retest and positioning of the whales at the bottom at that descending trend line. As you can see, it's pretty similar of what been happening with Bitcoin since 2017. As you can see, the movements are absolutely similar. All right, we are also having 1, 2, 3 waves to the downside, 1, 2, 3 as we have got right here running flat. All right, and right now we are having a beautiful reclaim above that descending trend line. Similarly, what happened in 2020 of Bitcoin before we started the surge to the upside. Obviously, the economical situation during 2020 was absolutely beautiful. All right, so there was loads of money that could have been from retail flown into the crypto market. Right now it's different, right? But still, if the tariffs will start getting positive outcomes and the economical situation will get better, there will be enough fuel for Ethereum to go as high as 9,000. So it will be a beautiful long trading opportunity from a swing trading perspective to wait for a reclaim. As you can see, that will be a nice 76% movement and a stop loss will be able to be positioned very closely to the entry price. And if we will have other positioning possibility, that means the Ethereum will go towards this descending trend line. It will be another beautiful long trading opportunity, given that we will be able to place stop loss nicely below the descending trend line and below the moving average trend line as well. What I want to see, however, right now is the RSI indicator and the MACD as well to cool down. All right, I want to see the RSI cool down without the price going below the descending trend line and below the moving average trend line. All right, or I want to see the RSI being cooled down and the price starting to break above the resistances. So this is about Ethereum. Let's take a look right now on the Bitcoin CME futures gaps. You can see that we are still having the one from September, 29th of September, right here at around $110,000. If we will right now reclaim this moving average trend line that been holding the price action in an uptrend since that September 26, we will with the highest probability close the CME futures gap. And you know that 99% of CME futures gaps got closed within the next 3 months, right? So this is not going to be different. If we will have a reclaim, that means breakout with a surge in volume, which we have right now, but we can still get a nice support right here, all right? I will show you on other charts that we are right now retesting one flipping level, all right? So if we will actually get back above this moving average trend line, it will be all right, and the CME futures gap doesn't need to get closed, right? But most often within the next 3 months, all of the CME futures gaps got closed, but we can make it after Christmas. It's still possible, right? But for now, it's very important to watch the moving average trend line. If we will get a nice reclaim with breakout and also a retest, changing this from a support, this moving average trend line, into resistance, it will be a confirmation that we will start going down for a closure of that CME futures gap. If we take a look right now on Bitcoin pair versus Euro, I've told you that I want to see for a real strength to break the previous high that on the Euro pair we have not been able to cross since January 2025. Unlike on a USD pair, we have created a beautiful higher high, but on the Euro pair, we have not been able to cross above the previous high. So for a strength, for a real strength of the Bitcoin, because right now, what does it suggest? It doesn't actually suggest that Bitcoin is stronger by making higher high on USD and not being able to making it on Euro, right? What does it suggest? It suggests that the dollar is actually getting just weaker. As you can see, since January 2025, we have crashed by around 12%. I have been sharing that with you already in the previous video. So the Bitcoin actually didn't get too much stronger. The dollar just got weaker, right? And that's also why you are seeing gold pumping so much, etc. And the stocks market as well. It's really pushed by really weak like dollar. It's extremely important to understand that the dollar is extremely weak. The euro is not that weak. And as you can see, because of that, Bitcoin wasn't able to break above the previous high. So for a real strength of Bitcoin, I want to see a proper reclaim of this resistance, all right? If we will have a beautiful reclaim, that means breakout with a surge in volume and then a retest with decline in volume. I want to see a base forming right here, and it will show me basically that the resistance is being changed into a support, and for us, it will be a signal to go very aggressive, all right? Let's take a look right now on the dollar index. As you know, I've been telling you in the previous video, smash the like button if you have been watching the previous video as well, that I want to see dollar index to cross again into bullish price action. I want to see a reclaim of this moving average trend line, because the moving average trend line been holding dollar in this downtrend for a very long time. But if we can start pushing from the support zone that is created by two very important Fibonacci retracement levels, so if we will have a reclaim of that moving average trend line, the trend will start changing and we will start revisiting this resistance area at around 106. All right, that's a very important level. Another Fibonacci retracement levels right here. Great liquidity pool, and if we will start pushing the dollar index into an uptrend, it will mean that the Bitcoin will need to go a little bit more down, right? So we are watching dollar index. Let's take a look right now on the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is looking good for altcoins, all right? If the Bitcoin dominance can sustain its price action below this moving average trend line, as you can see, we have changed it from support into a resistance by this breakout with a surge in the volume, and this is exactly how a beautiful, this is a textbook reclaim, all right? So breakout of the moving average trend line, aka a support with a surge in volume, and then a retest, as you can see, this retest on a decline in volume. That basically suggests the bulls are weak, and that is the reason why we have continued to go to the downside. So Bitcoin dominance, you know the cheat sheet from our website, mycryptoparadise.com. I have been sharing that with you in the previous video right here. When the Bitcoin dominance decreases, Bitcoin increases alt season is coming. All right, this is exactly the recipe for a success. So Bitcoin dominance is right now in a downtrend. If Bitcoin can be stable at least, if Bitcoin can be at least stable, the altcoins will start increasing anyway. And they already do. The strong altcoins are performing well. But if we want to have a proper alt season, we need to Bitcoin to start decreasing, Bitcoin increasing. That will basically tell us a new money inflow from retail is going back to the market, and we will experience something similar what you have been experiencing with me if you have been in Paradise Family VIP during 2017 and during 2021, and it was absolutely beautiful. And it might happen again. You just need to monitor this and enter early into strong altcoins, all right? But definitely hedges are important. You always need to be prepared for anything in the crypto market. Big moves are incoming, but it can be also to the downside, right? So you need to be prepared for downside movements as well. That is why hedging with some positions, with some strategic positions to make sure that you are profiting from both movements is very important. Right now, however, what is even more important is to understand where to go aggressive, when to be defensive on long positions or on short positions, right? So we will be very aggressive on short positions once we start reclaiming back into a support this moving average trend line. Until then, we are in a bear trend, and the highest probability I think is go back to 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, which is sitting at around 50% dominance. All right, so that would be beautiful. That would be 50% altcoins, 50% Bitcoin in the dominance of the overall crypto market, and that's exactly how healthy market looks like, where you have a nice volume in Bitcoin and also in altcoins. Everything is perfectly tradable, and that's where we are making the most of our money. Let's take a look right now on the weekly time frame. I've told you that if we will reclaim this zone, which was acting previously as a resistance, this magical $121,000, if we will change it from resistance into a support, we will go towards $135,000. Right now, I've put it into a white color because the flip is important to right now realize. All right, so I want to see this next weekly candle, which is closing in 5 days, 9 hours, to close above $121,000. That would mean a nice breakout and a reclaim, retest from a resistance into a support, and that will be a nice confirmation that we are going towards $135,000. Obviously, we need to be careful, right? There is the bearish divergences from the RSI, from the MACD histogram as well, and stochastic RSI actually looks nice. It's starting to open the legs, all right, which is nice invitation for bulls, but I want to see go above middle in the zone to make sure that the bulls really have enough strength to start pushing the market to the upside. But if that's gonna happen, it will be a beautiful swing plus trade with our Paradise Family VIPs. We will be targeting $135,000. Let's take a look right now on the daily time frame. Here again, I have this beautiful zone that been acting previously as a resistance. It's still white. I want to see the RSI trend line to hold above the moving average RSI trend line, change it from a resistance into a support. If that's gonna hold, and we also can have a nice retest of this zone and turn it into a support. As you can see so far, it's kind of reacting nicely, but I want to see the daily candle close, which is closing in 8 hours, to be closed above $121,000. If that's gonna be the case, we will probably be targeting the next resistance as a first target around $128,000, and the last target will be $135,000, which is analyzed perfectly from the ultra-ham time frame perspective. It's a very important Fibonacci retracement level, and also other confluences are there. Let's take a look right now on the 4-hour time frame. Here we are getting rejected from this ascending trend line. We are having loads of spikes that basically tried to break above it, but we have started to form this head and shoulders pattern. This is left shoulder, right shoulder, head, right? So right now this is break of the neckline. If we take a look at the possible target, we need to measure the head, right? So let me put there the counting tool. We need to measure the head breakout point. We can go as down as $120,000. If this is gonna hold, all right, and we can close some 4-hour candles above it, it will be a nice invitation for a long position as well, where we will be able to position our stop loss very tightly to the entry price and the sell targets final one as far away as possible. High probability trades, patience for a high probability trades, and also high risk to reward trades is the recipe what you need if you want to be long-term profitable. But we need to be careful. We have a bearish cross on MACD histogram right here. As you can see, bearish divergence, finally it's playing out. All right, so I'm right now waiting for some confirmations of a bullish divergence. Once we get that, as you can see, higher low so far, lower low on the MACD. Once we get a nice confirmation of the momentum decreasing, bulls starting to get strength again, and a bullish cross, it will be a nice invitation for a high probability long setup. If you take a look on the 1 hour time frame, here we will be careful because so far we are creating just 5 moves to the upside, 3 moves to the downside, 5 moves, 3 moves, 5 moves, 3 moves. From an Elliott wave perspective, this is a bull trend, right? When you have 5 waves to the upside and just 3 waves structures as a corrections, this is basically a bull trend. So to change this bull trend into a bear trend, I'm waiting for 5 moves to the downside. If we will start getting it, all right, and it will probably nicely confluence with reclaiming this support into resistance, it will be an invitation for a short position. And I will keep you updated in the next videos. Smash the like button if you are getting some value from it, and I will see you again on Thursday. Cheers.